Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Dave Min of California.
This is a man who can't even keep a rocket from blowing up, and he's talking about guaranteeing people their Social Security payments when he's kicking people off of Social Security. He can't even get through on the damn phone line.
So, be careful. You know, Fox News might say you're demonizing Elon Musk.
Spare me.
Meanwhile, our seniors are suffering.
Yeah, well, you know, incompetence has a face, and it's Elon.
Yeah.
Where's Amy Gleason? I thought she was in charge of Doge.
That is what they said, although, as we learned, she wasn't actually even appointed to Doge until weeks after the announcement. This is a lawless, it's not an agency, it's not a department, it's supposed to be a temporary organization. But obviously Doge is acting at the highest levels. They're exerting powers that even the president doesn't have. And Elon Musk, I'll just point out, doesn't have the authority to give anybody higher benefits. Those benefits are created by Congress, by acts of Congress. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I think this guy, Big Balls, the 21-year-old coder, is probably whispering in his ear, but this is a bunch of nonsense we're seeing. And I'll just note that the whole thing with Social Security, it helps to understand the agenda here. This is not about efficiency. It's about finding $1.6 trillion in spending cuts so that they can pay for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for the richest people out there, including foreign investors who get a big, big tax cut from this.
And that's an important part of this, because the man we just saw who's sitting atop this chaos, Elon Musk, is himself a beneficiary of the chaos. He's got 18-plus contracts throughout the defense agencies and other agencies of government. No one seems to be inspecting the benefits that he's deriving on the other side of that. So it makes sense then that what you're finding, Congressman, in your district in Orange County from citizens is genuine outrage at the unfolding of Doge across the government, the usurpation of power, consolidating into one man who's an unelected individual. What are you finding as you've now had an online town hall of 10,000 people, an in-person town hall of 1,800, one of the largest, if not the largest so far? What are people telling you in your district, which is a cross-section, by the way, just for the record, of Democrats, Republicans, and independent voters? So it's not this, you know, this sort of, oh, we're paying all these Democrats to show up, as some of your Republican colleagues want to put out there.
We had, as you mentioned, 2 weeks ago, the largest town hall in my area that's ever been held. Over 1,500 people showed up, cross-section, and people are pissed off right now. You know, a lot of my Republican colleagues talk about how they have a mandate to go out and do whatever they want. Yeah, they did win the Congress. They did win the presidency, even if it was by very, very narrow margins. So they can do what they want. But they did not have a mandate to cut Social Security, to go after huge programs, to enact Project 2025. They ran on an agenda of actually improving people's lives, of lowering the cost of eggs, and not enacting Project 2025. So this is what we call a bait and switch. I used to be an SEC prosecutor as a law professor dealing with financial regulation issues. This is a classic scam where you promise people one thing, and then once they walk in the door, you give them something else. And that is what we're seeing right now. Is they're focused on everything except lowering the price of eggs right now, and breaking the law a lot in the process.
Where do you think this is headed, Congressman? I mean, there are those who will say they are breaking the system so that there is frustration with the system. It seems as though voters are a lot smarter than they realize, though, and their frustration is with Elon Musk and with Doge, not with the Social Security Administration.
That's right. And again, we're hearing reports, and I just want to humanize this. We had a lot of seniors show up in my town hall. These are real people, and unlike the assertions of Elon Musk and Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, people are paying close attention, and they will notice if they miss a paycheck. People are paycheck to paycheck in my district. It's a very expensive area, and I ran into a 77-year-old widow who's telling me that she doesn't know what she'd do. She's beside herself at the prospect of missing even one paycheck. And that mayhem right now we're seeing as they cut 12% of the workforce. They're imposing new requirements on seniors, all in the name of rooting out fraud, which, again, Social Security is one of the most closely watched programs in the world. Lots of analyses. Is there some fraud? Maybe a little bit, but it's always been found to be just a tiny, tiny percentage, not on the scale that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are lying about here. So people are freaked out. I don't know where this is going, but again, it helps to understand that this was never about efficiency. It's always about finding $1.6 trillion in spending cuts. And look, I hate to be the Asian guy showing up here talking about math, but this is a math problem for them. The entire domestic discretionary budget is $900 billion. That is a lot less than $1.6 trillion. So they could cut every program out there. They still wouldn't have the cuts they need. That is why they have to go after these mandatory spending programs, as we call them, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. They've already announced massive cuts to Medicaid. Now they're looking at Social Security because even that's not enough. And we have to remember that this is all about tax cuts for the very wealthiest out there.
I mean, you mentioned that less than 1% of Social Security payments in recent years were identified as fraud, and that's according to a Washington Post report. So you make the point. They could cut all of these programs, and they still wouldn't have it unless they went after Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So why is it that your Republican colleagues are continuing to lie to the American people? Speaker Johnson goes on TV week after week and says, Democrats are lying to you. We are not trying to cut Social Security. We are not touching Medicaid. But we can see for ourselves, if we just listen to what they are saying and watch what they are doing, that's the only conclusion to draw.
Look, if you're talking about my colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle, I think a lot of them right now are running scared of Donald Trump. And that's the reality. They're scared of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. There apparently have been a lot of threats levied against Republicans. If you step out of line, we're going to primary you, and Elon Musk is going to spend tens of millions of dollars against you. They're worried about their own personal safety because of the online mobs and in-person mobs that will come to their houses if they go out of line with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So it's a courage problem. It's also part of this administration. From top to bottom, they're characterized by their lawlessness and the fact that they lie about everything, whether it's the press secretary, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's everyone on down. And I think House Republicans just have to buy into that lie. And that's the unfortunate reality we're dealing with right now. We can clearly see they're going after Social Security, and yet they're lying about their agenda. And again, it helps us to remember this is not about efficiency. It's about finding a lot of spending cuts right now so they can pass their tax cuts.
For the billionaires, Michael, for the billionaires. Oh, my goodness.
We need billions more.
Billions more. Congressman David Mann, thank you very, very, very much.